the HGC Korea. We're here.
He did say welcome back.
Yeah, I said welcome back, but you know that part wasn't part of the broadcast. You'll never hear me say it in that exact tone I said it. It was only for G-Clef's ears.
I heard it.
He heard it.
So you're all good. Nah, he's never good.
Tempest had a shaky first 2 matches here this week.
Was not good. He died a couple of times, a couple of split-soaking Falstad.
I like how they're using him and how Dami's back in the solo lane. Like, I prefer this setup personally. It's just that, I don't know, like, I don't want to blame Good so much as I want to give credit to Dudu, right? In team fights, we can start to say, like, Tempest has overextended a lot. You know, they're trying to win fights, like, they're playing as if Feliz is an amateur team. They once were, they no longer are, right? They've played through a whole phase of HGC Korea. They're no longer an amateur team. They have real experience. They've improved a lot. They look better and better every time they play. And I mean, we saw some like wonky drafts against Gluck yesterday as well, where they're really prioritizing the Sonya again. Tempest is playing as if their opponents are weaker than they are. And when they face off against Ballistics, when they face off against Genji, and when they face off against Blossom, that's not going to cut it. Even when they face Miracle, they may have some problems, you know, if they keep playing like this.
Well, being like 100% down to earth honest, they will not play the same playstyle if they were going against Genji, same draft. They will play differently, where Sion will be always checking bushes, and it seemed very sloppy because maybe it was Feliz, maybe they're just having a bad day, and ever since Dami went into solo lane, they were just prioritizing Sonya so much. But it's gotta change into a better direction. I think that's a good.
Yeah,
that's a good way of approaching.
Sure. We saw them play this battleground yesterday. It was picked against them by Gluck, which Rapid and I talked about was a pretty risky pick by Gluck to face off against Tempest on this battleground. It's a battleground that they, Genji, and Ballistics really prioritize against teams they think they are better than. And clearly, as we've seen in these last 2 games, Tempest asserts that they are the better team. The first pick on this map for Tempest yesterday was the Genji, and it is instantly banned by Feliz.
And Tracer? It would actually make better sense if it was on the opposite side, like Tempest banning Tracer and Feliz banning Tempest banning Genji, and Feliz banning Tracer. But it is Sky Temple, so they wanna remove all the high utility heroes out there.
This is a battleground where Falstad and Hanzo are going to be really important in the draft. Hanzo can off-soak how Good has been using him, and they're already grabbing the global. Look at this. Controlling the global, controlling the off-soak and boss clear time with the Hanzo pick. In no other battleground will you see these 2 heroes prioritized like this. In BOE, you'll see the Hanzo, but you won't see the Dahaka. On this battleground, you need the clear time for the boss. You need the global presence. And we're going to see the Jaina come in here for the first time this series as a result. They want to look for team fights. They want to look for shrine fights. Sonya's going to have the winning matchup against Dahaka when she can be there, when she has to leave.
I like it. I like it a lot, but Dudu has shown some weak performance on Jaina, but I would like to see a better game of him playing Jaina, as he's not really a mage character player that we have seen from his previous teams. Maybe he has stepped up a little bit more, and they get to have their Sonya again this time, so maybe they can have some better front line so that Jaina can actually provide some poking from the back line, making sure they have some instant damage as well. They have the burst and Malfurion to counter that.
This Medivh ban comes through again. I just noticed something really cool, G-Clef. I don't know, I took 3 days to notice. You know how we had the maps in English and then they were in Korean again? We have the map in English underneath now in the Korean. So now no one's confused about the maps ever.
It was always like that.
Was it?
It's phase 1, yes.
Are you sure?
Are you a gnome? Are you a gnome? Like, are you traveling in time? What's happening, Wolf?
No, it was in English and then we changed it to Korean because the Korean fans didn't like it on the other stream.
And then we had the map down there with as a subtitle all the time.
I don't remember. I'm just hyped that we have it, okay? That's all. Moving on.
As long as you're hyped, I'm happy. No Kappa pride.
I don't think this Maiev is the right ban.
I was thinking that they were maybe Feliz was considering Maiev.
Oh, they're in trouble now. The Daka, or sorry, the Johanna comes in, so they've got really good wave clear, fantastic for boss control. Lines, very powerful against Sonya. Not so much against Jaina, but it limits the auto attackers that Feliz can now run. If they were thinking of switching Dudu off of the Jaina and putting him onto just a ranged DPS here, the options became a lot more limited. Karazim, great at controlling the boss as well with this composition. And I just don't think that the Maiev was ever on the cards. They do get the false stat, and finally OJ gets his patented garage.
Oh yes, he's been practicing that garage for such a long time now. Finally getting his hand 5th pick.
The false stat's tougher to use with the Johanna, but you can turn the Iron Skin into a weakness with the Gust. But those kind of things are usually required to have a Karazim to back them up. So if you look for a boss fight and then you Gust, but Johanna's the only one left, she's like, haha, you can't take it away from me. Then you 7-side her and you turn the fight that way. There's a lot of ways to do that, but you don't have the Karazim, so Johanna's just blinding the false stat and the Sonya, which makes it more difficult to get damage in those moments. But Tempest, you know, for the final DPS, Phoenix just fits the bill, I think. He's great.
Double support?
Nah. Yes. You just pull the Phoenix in.
Right on the money, Will. Phoenix.
The other option, I think, would have been the Li Ming for lockdown, but when you have Jaina on the other side, like, you might as well just have a little bit more mobility and better wave clear. I mean, Li Ming's wave clear is not bad by any means, but it's not great. Phoenix is fantastic in that regard.
And also you can kind of, since they do have a very pushing teamfight to come, where Sonya will be in the front line, they have the burst and they will try to push the opponent out from the temple. Phoenix can kind of counter that, kind of like Decker Kane. They do have the cone of area where they can just splash all the damage at the CC. Of course, no Decker Kane in this game.
Yeah, if it were Decker instead of Karazim, for example, you know, I think that's a better argument for believing. Okay, Feliz's last chance. They've had a good series so far. Let's see how much improved OJ's Garrosh is.
Fire versus water. Red versus blue.
Coke versus Pepsi.
Coke wins. I know, I gotta say I'm biased on that.
Did you see the Pepsi Man run? The speed run of the Pepsi Man game?
Really? They had that already?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed that.
I actually never got to play that game. I really want to play it now.
Pepsi Man actually looked scary when I was young. I was like, mommy.
Pepsi Man is a little bit scary.
He doesn't have a face.
He kind of looks like the bad guy from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like at the end. But he's a Pepsi can instead. It's like really scary. Well, Sonya's already up at the top lane. Anand's up there getting the soak. Good's in the off lane. It's going to be that 1-3-1 setup that Tempest has been using. Sure, it's still a 4-man, but they like to stay with their tank and their second DPS while Hanzo just stays alone. Because he has an escape over the wall, and he just sits back. He doesn't push the lane, he just soaks it. And they look for picks and opportunities. Oh, roaming together now is 4 to get this clear mid, but just watch Good. He's going to clear the camp immediately. Like, it takes 2 to clear blue side. Hanzo starts this by himself. Who's going to win this race? Like, it's Jaina, sure. It's going to end up being really close. But the Hanzo is going to get value so much faster. Look, they even with Jaina, like, they lose it, you know? Hanzo starts it. By the time they get there, you know, it's already 1/3 of the health of one of the guys is gone. Hanzo's clear time's insane.
Come on, it's before anything could happen. They spent a little bit more time, of course. Jaina doesn't do as much burst damage yet. Same with Hanzo, so. And that matchup at the bottom, Hanzo will have to be careful as well. The range actually, for Jaina, she can, if she lends all the Qs, Hanzo will have a tough time, so he's actually in the fort range.
Yeah. He also has to know that there's a possibility that Falstad could fly down at some point. Just going to deal with the camp. It was you know, he can't clear the camp in lane as easily as Jaina can because he needs something to bounce the arrows off of, and he doesn't have that. I think that was a misclick for OJ, by the way. Yeah, now this camp up here, though, with Phoenix rotated up, the wave clear they have here is insanely good with Sign on the Johanna. So they're winning this out. Now the spell damage removal is gone. They can actually even force the issue further. They won't, though, because they have Hanzo in mid.
Phoenix does have insane siege damage potential with the plasma and all the auto attack at the same time. So that was well dealt with. 4 men. Garrosh already makes it down here. He will actually lose some of the minions. I believe he lost 2 or 3.
It's not too significant in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, it's something to mention. And Tempest has just decided they want to rotate around and control waves.
Who does he want to choose? It is going to be Sign! Oh, weird choice there.
I think that was just a misjudge. Like, he almost cost Dudu his life as well. Really well placed route there from Liu to help the escape, but that was not a moment to fight. They have the Falstad bottom, so I can understand the idea to take a skirmish, to delay, maybe try to force Dahaka to come up so you get a soak lead, but it backfired pretty hard.
I know, that's Horde, man. I mean, I'm angry, I go at you, but I die.
That was a smart move, for sure. This ends up being a really even trade. After the fact, though. Trying to dive Aimer here. And you know what? He barrel rolled in a weird way earlier, and I suppose just had no way to use flight. He was going to get blown up during the channel time.
So they're basically already broken apart.
Like now they
are struggling.
Now they don't have Falstad, so they're losing soak. They're losing the last shots on this temple, which was traded 1-for-1, but these small advantages Tempest takes with the Hanzo off soak from good that we're seeing so much of right now in this meta. It's just you've now gained a whole level of experience lead, and it's not from the 2 kills. Those kills did not give you the experience. It's how you use the kills and what you've removed, because the second kill was on Falstad. So Tempest is in a fantastic spot to have 10 for the next temple phase, which is rare, but it's happening.
Tempest is just making a very similar rotation that they always do in this map, but Feliz, they're getting caught with multiple individual mistakes, and they're falling behind a little slower every single time. So, not game over by any means, but it'll take a lot longer for them to actually catch up, because once the 10 is up, it'll be the next temple at the bottom. Next temple phase very soon.
They will potentially be able to make a boss play here. The fact that they've sent Dahaka top and Hanzo's come back down is also indicative that they want to look for this.
Sonya is rotating up, but ooh.
This actually...
no spear.
Yep, spear misses. They've got a whole wave. This actually opens up a huge opportunity for the level 10 advantage to lead to a boss. Karazim comes up for safety just in case, and now they're going to make the boss play. 10's up in just a second after this wave's cleared.
And they have so much time before
they had the watchtower too.
They have to just go for it. Garrosh is next to him.
Like, so even if Dami dies, it doesn't matter. They had the watchtower. They knew Malfurion was top. They had the watchtower. They had vision. And it's an easy free boss play. And Feliz can do nothing to stop it anymore. They get a fort. Never worth. This boss will kill the bottom fort alone, and they're going to get full temple. And Dami did not die.
And... oh, they're actually going for the camp as well, so Feliz actually not losing as much. They're trying to gain their own value, not really wasting their own rotation as well. So I do like their choice, and if they can actually get a kill, another kill onto Dami, that will be crucial. And the nice silence along with the gust used. Everything used on there.
But who wins here? The top fort will go down to the temple, at least the wall will, and they're going to get a keep wall. There's no way that Feliz can get a keep, or even the wall here. As long as Tempest is Heart's home, they get the soak advantage as well.
Yes.
Even though this was a good play, and the silence committed there, probably didn't need the silence and the gust, but you know the commitment there to kill Dahaka was correct. Tempest still wins. Like, Tempest still wins massively in this trade. And now they have map control because of the boss. So look at the free soak that Lockdown is getting mid. It's just like immaculate advantages for Tempest one after the other. And they take a structural lead, which is what is most important of all on this battleground.
Oh, yes.
The top temple, or top fort, didn't die like I said it would, but it's basically dead, so a keep wall and a fort for a fort trade and an experience lead.
But I like the decision making from Feliz. If it was the old Feliz from phase 1, the early one, they would just go to the bottom temple and lose more members and fall behind even more. They were actually opening windows for themselves, trying to contest, getting down the boss. That's kind of slow. It takes time to get to the fort and the keep wall. So might as well steal the camp and also look for a kill onto Dami. That was possibly the best thing they could have done at that moment.
It was definitely one of their best choices.
Yes.
And they made the choice decisively and quickly, which I think is really like the point you're trying to highlight, is just how quickly they were able to say, okay, this is what we're doing. It was not an indecisive choice. They didn't go top for a little bit, then come down. Like, they were very decisive. So, you know, that much is good, and they don't end up too far behind in terms of experience at the moment. But Tempest still has this nice structural lead, and their experience lead will further itself once that top fort actually is destroyed. Its last like 2% of its health. There's not really any objectives on the map right now. I believe the night camps are going to come up in just a moment.
And even Dami's not really going too far. Look at where Dehaka is just standing there.
Yeah, they
not even showing himself.
Feliz didn't show themselves, so he has to be careful. He's scared they're going to backdoor the keep, so doesn't end up happening. They show themselves mid. He goes to the soak. And Tempest is just saying, like, let's not try to win this game. Let's just make sure we don't lose it. Now he's going to go mid. He's like, yeah, you can push top. I've got a good wave there. It's fine. If you push top, like if Sony pushes top, he gets the free soak when he returns to top. And instantly that goes down, the top fort. Once the healing fountain goes down, it's going to go to the keep, which has already lost its wall. So, again, Tempest is just playing to their victory condition, knowing that this bot temple will get them a keep. And that's going to make it much easier for further boss plays, and it's going to be the lane the boss can end the game on. So Tempest is playing.
Look at the positioning of Hanneton, though. They do have Dehaka bottom, so he can join into the team at any time. There's this burst onto Garrosh. Teamfight is over, boys.
Yeah, here comes Aimer with the gust. And it lands into the
silence. Silence as well. Takes down Hanzo, and maybe along with Sign, too.
Okay, Lockdown has to carry this fight, and so far he is. He's doing so much damage. There's the grab on the Falstad to get the kill here. Huge opportunity for Feliz to turn it, but it just didn't work out as they wanted to. Hanatan's very tanky, has the sustain, but eventually he will be taken out here. He takes Malfurion with him. Sorry, he takes Karzim with him, but still a win for Tempest at the end of the day. Can take this last few temple shots and then head bottom, because Dami should have his brush stock in just a moment.
That was a good try.
They're close, but no cigar, you know, just like Tychus.
I did like their teamwork, where Falstad just gussed into the Twilight Dream, and they actually had a pretty good setup. Even if they lost Garrosh to begin with, they were actually making the 4v5 work for some time. They actually got some trade. Of course, the worst trade for them because they had lower level, and they lost Garrosh to begin with. But their team fighting actually is like, in terms of synergy and teamwork, it's continuing.
Yeah, that was like, that's the kind of thing that a year ago we only saw from like MVQ Black, but now even Feliz is able to make this work. I think it shows the increase of level of play for HGC in general. I love how Dami's managing his waves. Like he soaks when it's safe, and then he just sits in the top lane. Like he's literally just sitting there. Feliz has no idea where he is. And he's going to be able to get free soak if Sony goes up there, so he counters the soak, so they're never losing soak. And if nothing happens, he just teleports to where he needs to be with his brush stalker. So I love how Dami is managing that top lane so well. He pokes his head out for a second. He's just going to go start the night camp. He can leave it at any moment if Feliz starts a boss contest here. Falstad is going to get them 16. So I don't think that Tempest will start this boss, despite the fact they have the Hanzo comp that's just too greedy.
Feliz has to soak for 16. They just did. They do have the gush.
Yeah.
To just push everyone out from that boss pit.
Okay, they're going to try to make a play maybe here. You know, Falstad reads it. They got a grab on Falstad, I think. He had to barrel roll away, I saw in the top lane, so. Maybe he didn't get grabbed, but he dodged a grab either way. Everyone's playing super safe, super passive, but the next Temple phase, luckily for Feliz, is a one-off. So Tempest can't trade it 1-for-1 to get the keep. It's just going to be the fight that happens on the Temple itself. Now, Tempest can ignore the Temple and go for boss, because boss opens up keep. So there's a lot of interesting decisions Tempest can make now. That's why they're playing around this. They're positioning around this right now. Because it's win-win for them if they can guarantee the boss.
Because the Temple's at top, it's quite far away from the boss. And both have the global. But they also have Hanzo along with Feliz. They do have Sonya, but Hanzo just poked from the... Oh! Could have engaged him, tried it. Garrosh does survive this time.
He survives. Oh, but the arrow! Huge arrow! And lockdown!
Malfurion is just gone.
Lockdown doing massive damage. The taunt is too late. Aimer's here. Lockdown's still doing massive damage, though. That's the blow-up onto Sonya. Here comes the salvo. Doo-doo, not long for this world. See you later, man. Ooh. Aimer survives, but that's game. That's boss to core. They could go for the top, you know, Temple if anything goes wrong here, but look at the clear time on this. This is very likely just simply going to end the game. The bottom keep isn't even fully healthy. So let's see how they do this. They're not going to push, actually. Because again, it's not playing to win, they're playing not to lose.
Huh? It takes some time. Might as well get the top Temple as well. It's open. And after clearing this one, get the top Temple. Maybe push with the boss as well. Karazim is still on the timer.
Yeah, I actually did not... I was looking at some other stuff. I did not see if Dahaka brushed Doc to go up there. If he did not, if he just straight up walked up there, then he can try to get them closer to 20 and then brush Doc down to end the game. Because if they get any kills, they definitely win. And OJ might be that kill. He's getting so low from Hanzo here. Barely survives. Trying to save this keep. It's going to be close, actually, with the Jaina burst. Looks like they will just barely save it. Oh, close call there. But the top keep is under duress now from this top Temple. And Tempest is just not taking risks. They are playing to win this super hard. It's the safest game they played of the 6 now. Their 6th game this split, and this is as careful as it gets. Look at Sign, he's the last one to leave. Shield Glare to get the dismount, they walk away.
Oh, at least they're focusing on top right now, but I think they should be already down there trying to clear, because Tempest with 20, they're trying to push the bottom and then go straight to the core. They're trying to finish the game right now.
Yeah. And they very likely will. No, yeah, they have to Hearth. Like I was gonna say, there's no globals at the top of the map. No. All right. Will they push for the core with all these siege giants? You know, they've been. It hasn't been what they've been doing the last 5 minutes, but now they have 20. They might go for the kill here. They might see blood in the water. The only fort they're missing is top, so they're not too concerned about getting wiped and losing the game. They should be fine either way, so they can actually make a core call here, I think. Sonya's still top, trying to soak for 20. This is their opportunity to go in. Good is probably going to be the initiator with the arrow. Watch his positioning. He's looking for that angle right now. Just poking at the core.
OJ just tossing one off to the side just to take it down so it does less damage to the core. But OJ soaking a little bit too much damage. Gets a heal, so they will survive a little bit longer.
Yeah, the dynamic between Garrosh and Malfurion means if you go to half health, you're still probably going to be okay. And they're doing a great job of buying time here. Sonya's rotated down. Doo-doo looking for the massive flank, but he could get blown up in a second if they collapse on him. Blessed Shield could be the end of him.
Same for Lockdown. He's got himself marked right there with DPS from back. Ooh, that was a great defense by Feliz. No one like overextended, suddenly just popped up out of nowhere.
Tempest, you know, just playing very passively. They didn't even get a second keep here. And Jaina's good. They're going to have 19, but they don't have 20 yet. Nice warp there from Lockdown.
Simon was almost kind of baiting them to attack him so they can actually have a counter push, because he knows that he's going to survive. He's 20.
And Feliz has brought themselves in a situation where for the next Temple phase, they're going to be able to contest with 20. All the waves are pushed to them in top and mid, so they can easily just soak. Falstead's heading bottom. That's the toughest soak to get, is the bottom one. He's heading there. So with these 3 waves of minions plus the knights, they will have 20, and they can contest a Temple phase 20 versus 20. Versus 21, you know, but 20 talents versus 20 talents. And what Tempest wanted to do was just trade so that they would at least eliminate all the keeps. But now they might have to fight straight up. And we'll see if Wind Tunnel ends up being the choice here for Aimer. I'm really curious. That's been very, very common recently, but I think Epic Mount might be more appropriate in this game. Find out in just a second as 20 is about to finish. The second keep is dead. They're going to have to make a decision now. If they're going, now's the time. He goes for the Wind Tunnel. He's locked it in.
One single team fight and then going for the top lane, which they actually pushed in for such a long time. May not be game, but it maybe just keep down if they would. Oh, Aimer almost had to use that Wind Tunnel now, though.
Yeah, he had to use the Wind Tunnel. Okay, Water Elemental's on to good.
They get a kill onto good. OJ goes close, but the stun connects.
Really nice Blessed Shield, and here comes the Salvo from Lockdown. He's got the flank. There's no way out for Dudu. He's going to get blown up here. Liu tries to blink away here, but it's not going to happen. Sign's got the Indestructible. He survives, and all that's left between a win here for Tempest is a Sonya and a Falstad. Is all between Tempest and the core is what I was trying to say. They can win this however they want. The top keep's going to go down to the Mercenaries, and they can just double Temple here. Lockdown's just like, yeah, you're not even allowed to go home. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because the camp is also pushing the top.
Yeah.
They only have 2. They have to grab both temples and defend against this giant wave of top.
Yeah, the core is already losing its shields. I can't imagine a world where this isn't just lights out. This Temple will barely not kill the core. I think it goes down to like 38% or something, right? Like, let's see. Maybe even like 45. Final shots come through.
Those are 2.
Okay, 42.
Aha, 42.
But now like triple catapult pressure for the rest of the game. Tempest has the better boss comp. They have boss position advantage right now. Wind Tunnel is going to be nice. Like, I say better boss comp in terms of boss clear time, but in terms of fighting on the boss, the Wind Tunnel and the Twilight Dream are going to make it very difficult to actually secure that. This is going to be crazy. Like, this is anyone's game to take. Feliz surviving here means they've got one more shot. If they win the team wipe, they win the game. They cannot let Tempest get the boss. The boss doesn't mean as much for them.
All up to OJ. Haka.
Isolation.
Grabs one from the side. Get cleansed. He'll be safe.
And Nature's Cure was well timed, but the Salvo's doing a lot of damage. OJ survives with tons of armor. Herdaten doing what he can. Really nice Wind Tunnel here, but Jaina is dead. Trading back though. OJ, can he survive? The answer is no. Aimer is stuck here as well. Lockdown does not have warp, so Aimer escapes, but 3 are dead. Lockdown gets his 20 popped here. There's the warp away. He gets the last shot there. He's killed by the catapults. Herdaten is, and that is finally going to be game. A little tease here by Aimer. Come on, don't you want your KD80 to be better, Dami? Get in there. Wasn't so good last season, was it? All right, that's GG. Tempest going to take the series. A very close series. You know, if you look at the 3-0, you might think, oh, HGC Korea, another 3-0, but Tempest showing some big holes in their play, and Feliz looking much improved from what we saw on Friday.
Their shot calls. Feliz shot calling tonight was a speed better than the Friday game, of course, and they were up against the harder opponent, which is surprising, so they were focused. They got the shot calls down, and Tempest had a hard time keep fighting against, especially in Game 2 in Shrines. In Game 1 in Shrines and even Game 2 in Dragonshire. They were losing Game 5. Tempest was down 3 levels, of course. They got a massive comeback, but Feliz, they're starting really to learn how to go against these really good team fighting teams.
Weird camera shot there.
Jeez.
Look at another. I've been trying to point out like really interesting things in the stats to look at, because oftentimes this is just literally meaningless. But look at Hyde's healing versus Liu. It shows what the difference in terms of supports is. Double the damage for Hyde, but 1/3, or like I guess 1/2 more so, healing than Liu. 17 to 41k. So just shows like what Kharazim is as a support. He's got the ability to be mobile. He has the ability to have that mobile cleanse late game, which we did go to. But it's more about his damage. It's more about his utility and his 7-sided strike than it is about his healing output.
8,154 on Garrosh shoulder damage. Of course, whenever he went in, there was 7-sided, plus all the focus, the range damage, which didn't really give the range for Garrosh to actually throw in anyone. We never, maybe just once, and he threw a sign that was like 2 minutes in game, and ever since then there was no throwing to focus the back line from Sonya, Jaina. That was their plan, right? To have one being thrown and then maybe root with Malfurion and then point him down and get a kill.
If I were to like review this series and review both teams, like I feel like Feliz has like a lot of bullet points in the pros column, and like Tempest has a lot of bullet points in the cons column. Like I have like a lot more negative to say about Tempest's play than I have Feliz's, just in terms of where these two stand in normal assumed rankings, power rankings for the season. The only thing I could say about Feliz really is, besides OJ's Garrosh was like a little bit weaker than his Johanna, was again what you echoed on Friday, is Dudu's just not that experienced on mages yet. Like his positioning on the Jaina is a little bit rough. So that's the one. Those are like the two things I could say. OJ's Garrosh, which was supposed to be hype but was not, and the Jaina. It's like those are things I can't really be hypercritical of, especially the Jaina, because Dudu, like by the end of the season, he should be good at mages if this meta continues. But like he's switching roles so drastically right now, like massively. So it's to be expected that he's going to have some growing pains there.
But it'll take some time. We can't just have a team that suddenly rises to top 3 from rank 7 or 8 that went to the Crucible last time. I mean, that's impossible, right? But at least they're showing hopes in the shot calling, and they're making like crisp decisions of what they can actually do when they're losing the game. So I'm impressed with Game 3, even though they lost 3-0. Tempest, they showed lots of holes. As you mentioned, they were really slacking off, not really having the decisive moments in the shot calls, and compared to Feliz. Of course, they're winning lots of the team fights. They were getting really good vision control as well, so that's why they were leading and getting one picked off. Mostly Garrosh, because of all the 7-side and all the focusing damage. But I like what Feliz actually tried to do in this best of 5 today.
Yeah, it feels like they're leaps and bounds ahead of where they were last phase, and that's very, very important. You know, seeing that growth is very exciting. HGC Korea looks to be, this might be the best season we've ever had. Like,
but that's just like saying NA might win this season.
I mean, I don't think it's like that at all. I think that I think that HGC Korea,
just making jokes.
But I think that HGC Korea, like, it looks more competitive than ever. Sure, we have a bunch of 3-0s, but like they're all really close games. The weaker teams are looking better than they did last time. We have a new team that looks very strong. We're going to see them actually tested against Miracle in just a moment. I'm thinking this is probably going to be my favorite season of HGC Korea that we've had so far.
Yeah, we also have Supernova.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be playing next.
Oh man, we're going to have to highlight and interview one of the players from Tempest very soon, but look at this. I was impressed with Hanaton. Oh, I think they were already losing games starting from this moment, but before 13, they were actually dominating in T5.
Yeah,
look
like
at that snipe.
If I could be critical of our production, like we only show like the winning moments for the winning team. Like this is like I lied. We did get to see Dudu. We're gonna see it again. Watch this. Uses the lack of vision, so Lockdown cannot hit him while he's in the bush.
Cute.
Very short dash there, and then gets out. Okay, this was sick. And then you see Hyde just pops the Tranquility, keep everybody healed up, so that the longer fight, they can't be burst down by Dudu. He does a decent amount of damage, but there's no supporting damage. Hammer's pushed away. But yeah, we normally just go like, wow, this team won. Look at the one fight where they like really smashed it. I'm like, well, what about the early game though?
And this one was without the Garrosh. 4v5, they tried to open up. Some great teamwork there, but
this arrow.
Boom!
Anatan gets caught. Dami comes in, isolates as well onto Liu, and then that's all she wrote. Like, Lockdown salvo is decent. It's just it's a decent setup. I mean, it gets interrupted, as you can see here. He uses it again. But, like, this is the salvo, the main salvo I was talking about there at the end, but it was just like, it was over when Liu was dead. Hyde's going to be interviewed, G-Club's going to translate.